There has been much debate into the effect of climate change on the world's ecosystems, much of it centred around the negative impact to animal species. However, a recently published article illustrates just the opposite. Over a number of years, scientists studied the effect of climate change on the metapopulation of Adelie penguins in the Beaufort and Ross Island colonies. This was the perfect location as the Ross Sea is relatively untouched by man, and so any change in the penguin colony would be caused by their natural habitat and not from direct human interference. It was hypothesized that the increase in population and available nesting habitat were related and were associated with glacial retreat due to increased temperatures. This also explained the reduction in emigration of young birds to neighbouring colonies on Ross Island. The aims of the study were to calculate available nesting habitat and population size at Beaufort Island, the change in available habitat from 1958 to 2010, and what effect this had on the dynamics of the group. The estimated population was taken from the number of breeding pairs on Beaufort. This was done using aerial photographs taken during the incubation period, as each penguin on the island could be assumed to be one of a breeding pair. The available habitat was calculated using grayscale imaging and determined the extent of the current guano stain, and then subtracting from this the unsuitable amount of habitat within the colony boundaries. From 1999 to 2010, 400 fledgling chicks were marked at Beaufort in order to track the penguins' movements. Once marked, the penguins were then searched for in later years at neighbouring colonies on Ross Island, and the band number and breeding status were recorded. There were some issues with accessing Beaufort on some years, and so scientists had to use survival rates from neighbouring colonies in order to estimate the number of birds that should have been alive. This gave an emigration rate, the proportion of banded Beaufort birds seen in other Ross Island colonies, compared to the number of birds that should have been alive on Beaufort each year. Now, as you can see from this graph, the available nesting habitat has increased since 1953, with the majority of it being between 1983 and 2010. We can also see that there is a direct relationship between the increase in habitat and the increase in population. Now, if this is compared with the summer temperatures taken at nearby McMurdo Station, we can see that the majority increase in habitat didn't happen until there was a big increase in temperatures. This tells us that the increasing habitat is directly related to the rise in temperatures. 2005 onwards, the emigration rate starts to decline, while the overall population of penguins increases. So as the glacier retreats, the more habitat that is exposed provides more nesting space for the birds. From the evidence collected, it suggests that the Adelie population at Beaufort Island are climate change winners due to the increased population from higher temperatures causing glacial retreat and subsequently exposing more nesting habitat.